Howdy folks, welcome to another Tumblr user video. Today we have Today I Learned from Tumblr. I hope that you all enjoy the video, and if you do, please like and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy guys, peace.
A Roman scholar predicted microbiology over 2000 years ago, writing, "There are bred certain minute creatures which cannot be seen by the eyes, but which float in the air and enter the body through the mouth and nose and cause serious diseases." The only book Stephen King has let go out of print is Rage, in which a kid shoots his teacher and holds his class hostage. While he doesn't think books, movies or video games cause violence, he does think they could act as an outlet to commit violence through, and should be more responsible. When a US president eats at a foreign state banquet, his food is actually prepared and served by White House stewards, who call the hosts ahead of time to find out what everyone will be having. Male horses by rhythmically slapping their against their stomach. That ancient Greeks invented the modern shower using piped water. Rich and poor use large locker room showers with bars to hang up clothing. Ancient Romans did the same, bringing showers to as far as England. The systems and habits of bathing every day disappeared after the fall of Rome. That Keanu Reeves was initially offered Val Kilmer's role in the 1995 film Heat. He turned it down to play Hamlet in a 789-seat theater in Manitoba. That antler growth tissue is surgically removed and grafted to another part of the deer's body. An antler will grow there. The story of mass panic in New York caused by the radio broadcast of the War of the Worlds in 1938 is largely false and was caused by the newspaper industry sensationalizing the story, seeing it as an opportunity to attack the radio as being an untrustworthy source of news.
And I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake.
More people have been to the moon than the deepest part of the ocean, the Mariana Trench. Only 3 people ever went there. 2 scientists aboard the Trieste in 1960, and film director James Cameron in 2012. Of Olivia Farnsworth. Olivia is 7 years old, doesn't feel pain, and never feels tired or hungry. This is because a rare chromosome condition. One day she was hit by a car and dragged down the street about 100 feet. Olivia walked away with only minor injuries.
That's really impressive. Whoa. Whoa, just whoa. Bravo. Wow.
Elephants can control their like a second trunk. As a result of this, collecting from an elephant by way of stimulation is dangerous, as one swing of that thing can knock a man clear off his feet. Therefore, the prostate must be stimulated instead through vigorous fisting. That a cat once co-authored a physics paper. In 1975, a physicist had just finished writing a paper and was ready to publish but realized that he had used "we" instead of "I" throughout. Despite being the sole author, not wanting to edit the paper, he listed his cat, Chester, as a co-author. Lee Harvey Oswald still owes an overdue book, The Shark and the Sardines by Joe and Joe Saravallo, to Dallas Public Library. You're not supposed to heat up the styrofoam cup of noodles in the microwave when cooking because it releases more of the BPA chemical found in styrofoam.
It's too late!
There is a gibberish script called Pseudo-Arabic that can be found on 10th to 15th century Christian European art, where artists tried to fake Arabic, probably mistakenly linking the Arabic script to the script and language used in Jesus' time. The scientific advisor to the 2014 film Interstellar spent 2 weeks talking Christopher Nolan out of having a character traveling faster than the speed of light, as it defies the laws of physics.
The laws of science be a harsh mistress.
Frankie Muniz, Malcolm in the Middle, has almost no memory of being on the show and of most of his early life. The US government used shell companies to import titanium from the Soviet Union to build the Blackbird SR-71, so they could spy on the Soviet Union. The Sopranos was so accurate that on Monday morning when the FBI listened to their wiretaps, the real mob would be discussing the show and thought they had somebody on the inside. They couldn't believe how accurate the show was. J.R.R. Tolkien had a peculiar sense of humor, along with his friend C.S. Lewis. He once dressed as a polar bear for an on-costume party and would chase neighbors away dressed as an Anglo-Saxon warrior. That Adolf Hitler received an award for bravery during World War I on the recommendation of Lieutenant Hugo Gutmann, Hitler's Jewish superior. There is a village named Paris in Russia. In 2005 there was constructed a 1:5 replica of the Eiffel Tower. 2 Australian men started a traveling trick act that performed contortions and manipulation of the male genitalia. It was largely successful and performed shows in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Europe, Canada, the US, South Africa and Argentina. Stephen King's formula on writing is, read and write 4 to 6 hours a day. If you cannot find the time for that, you can't expect to become a good writer. He sets out each day with a quota of 2,000 words and will not stop writing until it is met. Of Freddie Overstegen, a girl with the Dutch resistance who would seduce Nazis and lead them into the woods where they would be killed. About banda blindness, a phenomenon where web users subconsciously ignore information on web pages from ad-like banners. Fear of food touching another food is called brumotactylophobia. That the voice given for the AI suit lady, aka Karen in Spider-Man Homecoming, was none other than Jennifer Connelly, who also happens to be the wife of Paul Bettany, the actor who voices Jarvis in the Iron Man films and later as Vision. The original Iron Man movie was mostly improvised. Co-star Jeff Bridges claims that Downey Jr. and director Jeff Favreau would ad-lib each day's scenes, using a general outline for a script. That immediately after the end of slavery was declared in America, there was a surge in wanted ads placed in newspapers across the country. African Americans used them to search for family members sold or escaped, sometimes decades earlier. That Saturn's rings will eventually fall into Saturn and disappear completely. That despite its reputation as being a rainy city, London receives less rain in a year than Rome, Naples or Sydney. That until 2013, Shark Tank required 5% equity of all companies just to pitch in the show. Lawyers at ABC later changed the requirement after Mark Cuban gave them an ultimatum: remove the equity clause or I'm not coming back. The first native English speaker to teach English in Japan was named Ranald MacDonald. Azure-winged magpies show human-like generosity. They provide food to their group members spontaneously and without the other birds begging them. This so-called proactive prosociality has long been believed to be a human hallmark. That every military working dog is always one rank higher than its handler, so that mistreatment of the dog is considered assault on an officer of higher rank. That Switzerland is so committed to neutrality, it didn't even join the United Nations until 2002. That a man walking oddly in Baltimore in 1989 was stopped by police. He was found to have 21 live homing pigeons stuffed in his trousers. That in Finland there's an old measurement unit called parankosima, which can be translated to reindeer's piss. It describes the distance a reindeer can travel without having to stop to pee, which is around 7 to 7.5 km. Also, reindeer can't walk and pee at the same time. The Nightmare Before Christmas is based on a poem Tim Burton wrote in 1982 while working at Disney, who had purchased the film rights but felt it was too weird. Years later, after being fired from Disney, Tim realized they still owned the rights and convinced Disney to greenlight the movie. That rapper J. Cole once rented out a house in an upper-class white neighborhood where he was recording his album. His neighbors suspected he was selling drugs. It resulted in an investigation and SWAT raid that cost taxpayers $1 million. They found nothing. Used Crayola crayons that are too small to grasp or too flat to draw with are named Leftaless. In 2003, the company asked kids around the country to send in blue Leftaless. Crayola received the equivalent of 123,000 crayons. They used it to create Big Blue, a 1,500-pound crayon that's 15 feet long. Nikola Tesla once paid an overdue hotel bill with a working model of his death beam. He warned the management never to open it. After his death in 1943, the box was opened and they found nothing but a bunch of old electrical components. The punctuation mark is called an interrobang. That mice can sing, but we can't hear them. Male mice can produce complex songs, similar to songbirds, in the ultrasonic range when they spend time with females. That we originally discovered how digestion worked because a man named Alexis St. Martin developed a fistula in his stomach after a gunshot wound. The physician placed bits of food on a spoon and inserted them into the man's stomach through the fistula in order to observe the process of digestion. Bulletproof vests are not reusable after being shot. They also cannot protect you from knives. That in 1997, when the Methuen Mall closed, Applebee's refused to leave. For 2 years the mall was completely empty, save for the single Applebee's. The mall was demolished around the Applebee's, leaving the restaurant alone on a 60-acre lot until a lengthy legal battle forced them to leave. Bon Jovi has a restaurant that has no price. Guests pay whatever they can or volunteer in exchange for their meal. There was a blizzard in Iran in 1972 so deadly that some villages had no survivors. Snow got as high as 26 feet. About the Tinkerbell effect that states things that are thought to exist only because people believe in them. There is also a reverse Tinkerbell effect. It pertains to everything from religion to politics. Fuel air bombs make you suffer. The intense pressure wave and vacuum ruptures your lungs but causes minimal damage to brain tissue. It is possible that victims are not rendered unconscious by the blast, but instead suffer for several seconds or minutes while they suffocate.
Thank you all so much for watching the second Tumblr user video on the channel. I hope you all enjoyed the Today I Learned from Tumblr. I hope you all learned something, maybe got some trivia knowledge. We also have another top 69 Tumblr post. It should be, I think, 12 or 13 going out today. So if you like the video, stick around. In a couple hours, you'll have another one coming. And of course, I'll see you all tomorrow with the top 69 Tumblr posts. So I'll see you in a couple hours, and if not, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out, guys.